Imagine a society where your entire life, your profession, your social standing, even who you could marry, was decided the moment you were born. A system so deeply ingrained that it shaped not just culture, but centuries of history. This is the story of the caste system in India, a story shrouded in mystery, misinterpretations, and controversy. But where did it all begin? Was it always this rigid? And what role did religion, culture, and history play in making it what it is today? Stick with me because the answers to these questions might not be what you expect. The roots of the caste system can be traced back over 3,000 years to the Vedic period, around 1500 BCE. Early texts like the Rig Veda speak of a social order divided into 4 varnas: the Brahmins, priests and scholars; Kshatriyas, warriors and rulers; Vaishyas, traders and agriculturists; and Shudras, laborers and service providers. This system, at its core, was meant to organize society based on occupations and responsibilities rather than birth. The idea was functional, aimed at societal balance. However, what began as a division of labor evolved over centuries into a rigid hierarchy that became synonymous with identity and birthright. The infamous Purusha Sukta hymn in the Rig Veda describes the creation of these varnas from the cosmic being. Purusha, Brahmins emerging from his head, Kshatriyas from his arms, Vaishyas from his thighs, and Shudras from his feet. While this imagery symbolizes interdependence, later interpretations turned this flexible structure into a justification for inequality. By the time we reach texts like the Manusmriti, the ancient legal code dating around 200 CE, the tone had shifted dramatically. The Manusmriti codified the Varna system into rigid rules, enforcing restrictions on intermarriage, Varna Sankara, prescribing duties for each caste, and introducing penalties that disproportionately affected the lower castes, especially the Shudras. As centuries passed, the caste system became deeply entrenched in Indian culture. It wasn't just a social structure, it turned into a moral and religious code. Regional variations emerged, giving rise to the concept of jatis, or subcastes, which were often tied to specific professions. A farmer belonged to one jati, a potter to another, and so on. Interdependence turned into exclusivity, and exclusivity turned into untouchability. Those at the very bottom of the hierarchy, the Dalits or untouchables, were ostracized, forced to live outside villages, and denied basic human rights. But how did a system rooted in supposed interdependence and social harmony descend into exploitation and oppression? Many historians point to sociopolitical factors. During invasions and periods of foreign rule, the caste system was reinforced as a means to maintain control over a fragmented society. The British colonizers, for instance, solidified caste divisions by institutionalizing them through census classifications and administrative policies, often favoring the upper castes for education and employment. What was once a fluid system turned into a rigid and exploitative one, creating barriers that persist to this day. The reality of the caste system isn't just historical, it's painfully current. Even today, despite constitutional protections and affirmative action policies, caste-based discrimination continues to affect millions in rural and urban India. Dalits still face violence and exclusion, while the privileged continue to benefit from a legacy of historical advantage. At the same time, movements for equality and justice, led by reformers like Jyotiba Phule, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and others, have been a beacon of hope. Ambedkar, a Dalit himself, not only drafted India's constitution, but also called for the annihilation of caste, urging society to look beyond these artificial divisions. Modern India is undergoing a transformative shift in its perspective on the caste system, a relic of the past that continues to influence societal structures. While the younger, urban population increasingly views caste as an outdated concept, advocating for equality and meritocracy, its shadow still looms large in rural areas and traditional communities. Social media and education have played pivotal roles in fostering awareness and challenging caste-based discrimination. However, political and economic dynamics sometimes reinforce these divisions, complicating progress. The future of the caste system in India depends on a collective effort to transcend historical biases. Many Indians envision a society where opportunities are determined by individual talent rather than caste identity. But achieving this requires sustained policy reforms, grassroots activism, and a cultural commitment to inclusivity. As India strides into the future, the question remains, will the country fully dismantle the remnants of the caste system, or will its evolution continue to be a gradual, uneven journey? So what does the caste system really teach us? Is it a relic of history, or is it a mirror reflecting the darker side of human society? The truth is, caste is not just about religion or tradition. It's about power, privilege, and control. Understanding its origins, evolution, and impact isn't just about studying India's past. It's about confronting the inequalities that exist in the present. But what do you think? Is the caste system a cultural flaw that needs to be eradicated? Or can its remnants ever find a place in a modern, equitable society? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the truth about our world. Until next time, let's keep questioning, keep learning, and most importantly, keep striving for equality.